We adopted at EnAccess this open innovation approach because we have seen in the sector a lot of companies developing both software, hardware, and or some business models in parallel, often unrelated, and duplicating their efforts in research and development, very often funded by public and philanthropic funders, and also sometimes by the same funders develop the same innovation or the same development over and over. We understand that in the sector we need development of new tools, of new hardware, of new software. However, a good part of these developments are required pieces of technology to do the business the companies are doing, but are not the core business model of these companies. So the companies sell, in the case of mini goods, energy in units, or in the case of solar home systems, they are selling like the kits with a deferred payment scheme. But around that, there are like softwares to manage these activities. There are hardware to communicate, 2G, 4G, 5G modules. There are Bluetooth communication modules and software and apps that go with that. Then customer management software, so mini grids, integrations with mobile money providers, smart meters, to just name a few. And some of these mini grid companies so long are over and over developing these things again and again for their operations. And we believe these are things that are kind of overhead tech development that needs to be done, that is required for the operations, but which does not represent the individual business value, and where particularly small, young companies can benefit from having access to an open source tool set which can allow them to not do this R&D over and over, and just do the particular customization which they need for their particular business model. Impact we want to achieve with what we do is not just easing the work of the companies that do it. What we actually want to achieve on the long run is faster and more efficient and more sustainable electrification, which means that the people living in the rural communities get actually electrified, but get electrified in a sustainable and more cost-efficient way, which means more people can be reached because the funds channeled to the sector in energy access are used efficiently and are not used to redo development that is already done. So the direct impact is the beneficiaries in the rural communities get electrified with money that otherwise would be spent in repetitive efforts of R&D. And the secondary effort is through open source, also knowledge is more easily accessible, and the developed technology can adapt easier to different conditions in the rural community and can be more reliable, more resilient, and on the even more long-term perspective, on the terms of e-waste and circularity thoughts, open source is also the entry point. Only if the design from the beginning is in an open source process and an approach allows also a full circularity and easy recycling and reuse and repair of the components, which in the end again means for the beneficiaries that they are not left with e-waste, and also the tools and systems can be repaired more quickly. On what we do, it's all about open sharing, open knowledge and learning. So we share obviously the successful products we have, everything that has been developed with the support of EnAccess or which is directly developed by EnAccess itself. So everybody in the sector, as a companies, organizations, can just use what is publicly available. But publicly available is not only the positive outcome or the end result, the software code, the hardware designs, and so on, but also the lessons learned and also the failures that we have. So we are transparent on what didn't work and what was not that easy, what was more challenging that we initially thought, and in which venue, which possibly was tried, did not work in the development. So other companies and organizations can learn from that and not repeat the same mistakes again and losing time and money doing so. That's a very direct way on how to benefit from our approach, besides just using what is publicly available there. And to make this even more successful for everybody, for energy access, for the goal of sustainable energy and affordable energy for everybody by 2030, companies that use what we are providing are more than welcome to actually provide feedback, positive and negative. And they say, oh, this is missing in your documentation, or we actually believe there's this bug which needs to be fixed, or you should add that and that feature. Even though we might not able to cater all that requests, it's already a good contribution to raise that that's actually of importance. So that helps to prioritize in the future what activities we will be doing, and even better if companies actually use the tools, that they actively contribute to what we are actually having there. They can contribute software code, they can, as I said, also contribute just feedback and populate and recommend others that our solutions exist.